This is your News Source Evening Bulletin for today, Monday, the 27th day of August in the year 2018. Here's what we're tracking tonight. Teachers from across the country officially started their strike action today as their union, the Guyana Teachers Union, and the Ministry of Education continue to fail in their efforts to reach an agreement on the salary increases for teachers. Across the country, teachers came out in their hundreds in mid-morning marches and picketing action. In Georgetown, union officials and teachers picketed the Ministry of the Presidency, where it was made clear by the teachers that they are open to more benefits if the government finds it unable to meet their demands. Teacher at the North Ranville Secondary School, Kerwin Mars, told News Source that the government needs to come better.
What we want the government to do is to come and tell us, well, look, we can't afford 40%. We can give y'all this percentage, but we can give y'all clothing allowance, we can give y'all duty free, we can give y'all reduce your class size, we can give y'all this, we can give y'all that, and we can give y'all the other benefits that we're asking for. So that's why we're out here, and we will continue to be out here if they don't continue to budge and negotiate reasonable with us.
The government has told the teachers that it has set aside $700 million for salary increases for this year. The teachers explained that while the figure may seem high, when it is divided among the more than 7,000 public school teachers in Guyana, and then is further reduced following the GRA and NIS reductions, they would not see an increase in their salaries of more than $3,000. Large secondary school teacher Stacy Benjamin said the government needs to wake up and offer something much better. She warned the government that the teachers are prepared to wake it up and also wake up the entire nation.
The recommendation that came from the task force was the 40%. And you need to pay attention to that. It is not teachers coming out here and coming up with the idea that we want 40%. And that's all that we want, and we are not going to bargain for anything less. This is collective bargaining table that you're coming at. The government wants something from teachers, better performance. We also want a package from the government. The task force recommendation, and I want that to be clear to Guyana, all Guyana, it was to give the teachers 40%, and that's what we're standing as.
Mackenzie High School teacher and former APNU Member of Parliament Vanessa Kisun was also on the picket line in front of the President's office. She said the strike is not just about the salaries, but way too many teachers are faced with poor working conditions.
We have classrooms that there's inadequate furniture. We still have some schools that are not having drinkable, portable drinking water that students can access or even teach teachers. We still have classrooms or schools with washroom issues and all of that. We have some areas where you go, teachers live in quarters, deplorable. All right, and so we're asking for this package.
Other teachers on the picketing line complain about not receiving a uniform allowance in over 5 years, while demands are made by the government about the mode of dress.
They're just coming and they're asking you, they're bombarding you. Don't wear this. They're giving you $8,000 a whole year. We didn't get it. Over how much years we haven't gotten the uniform since? 5 years? 5 years. We haven't gotten any uniform allowance. But they want you to put on all of these fancy apparel just to be attired in the classroom. We can't handle this. This is something that we don't want.
In Linden, teachers sang out in protest today as they press for increased salaries and benefits. The GTU has said it will press on with the protests. More news in a moment.
Summer is for selfies with lots of data from GTT. Activate a 3-day or more data plan to get up to 35% extra data and a chance to win big. LOL this summer with GTT, Guyana's #1 network.
Summer is for friends, weekly prizes, and super summer getaways from Caribbean Airlines. So top up $1,000 or more and get 25% bonus credit plus a chance to win big. LOL this summer with GTT, Guyana's #1 network.
Welcome back. The president of the Guyana Teachers Union, Mark Light, today indicated that his union will be unable to meet with the Ministry of Education for the conciliation talks being hosted by the Labor Department, as the two sides still cannot agree on salary increases for teachers. Mr. Light said the GTU has its previously scheduled General Council meeting taking place on Tuesday, and that meeting, which was planned months ago and brings together teachers from across the country, cannot be postponed at this stage.
General Council would meet once per term every 3 months, so it's not something we can push back because we have had a lot of our our general council reps travel from the interior and so on to be here for tomorrow's meeting. And that meeting usually go late into the evening. So.
Questioned by news source about whether the teachers union is playing hardball to ensure the strike action continues into next week when the schools will reopen, the GTU president said the government needs to come to the table with a proper offer.
I think GTU is making the kind of statement to say that our position is that we are given short notices for meetings and persons are not inquiring whether we have scheduled activities on those dates.
Once the process moves to conciliation and possible arbitration, the GTU might have to put a hold on the strike action, since both sides might not want to be negotiating under a climate of duress. Turning our attention now to the water sector, the Guyana Water Incorporated today received the official certificate from the Guyana National Bureau of Standards, showing that the water company has attained the Guyana standard GUYANESE 170 for the operation of its laboratory. The certification, according to the GNBS, demonstrates that the GWI lab has implemented an effective system in its operation, which guarantees that the quality and technical aspects are fulfilled. The certification also points to GWI improving its laboratory standards. The company's managing director, Dr. Richard Van West Charles, said the certification marks a good day for GWI and Guyana.
If we are producing a product and we are distributing a product, we must be able to say whether that product is safe or not. And that's the real purpose of trying to ensure that the laboratory, its processes, the competencies of the staff, etc., are up to scratch, so that when we say it is safe, it is safe. If we say there is an issue, we know that there is an issue.
He also explained that GWI started the journey to get its lab certified just over 2 years ago, and he is pleased with the commitment that has been given by staff members to meet the certification standard.
We have a duty, we have a responsibility to our children, to our people, that the product we produce is a safe product.
And this evening, GWI is reminding citizens to report those leakages in the system to the company in a timely manner. Company officials said while GWI may distribute a safe product from its end, leakages and breaks in the system could result in that quality not being maintained before it gets to your tap. On the police blotter, a post-mortem examination carried out on the body of the 3-year-old boy who was stabbed to death by his mother has found that a toddler was stabbed to the heart, and that was responsible for his death. The 26-year-old mother, who is currently pregnant, is to be arraigned this week on a murder charge. She was arrested on Saturday after police officers were called to her small wooden shack at Enmore and found the child's body with the stab wounds. The child was rushed to the emergency room at a Georgetown hospital, but died as doctors were battling to save his life. The mother, Brenda Ferreira, told investigators that she dreamt that she was going to die on Saturday, and so she made a decision to take her favorite child with her on that death journey. The toddler was stabbed twice. The mother reportedly chased the child down before stabbing him. Already there are calls for a mental evaluation to be ordered for her. And finally this evening in the courts, a West Demerara taxi driver who admitted in court today that he was driving under the influence of alcohol when he slammed into a presidential escort vehicle was fined $67,500 and had his driver's license suspended for 3 months today. The accident occurred on August 24 on the Houston Public Road. The presidential escort vehicle was traveling along the roadway with sirens when the taxi driver reportedly ignored the sound of the sirens and slammed into the vehicle. The president was not in any of the vehicles at the time. In court today, 32-year-old taxi driver Kumar Chandar apologized for his lapse in judgment. And through his attorney, he told the court that he did not want to waste the court's time. So he offered a guilty plea to the charges of dangerous driving and driving under the influence of alcohol. After listening to the attorney's pleadings and accepting the guilty pleas, the chief magistrate fined him and also suspended his license. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. Gordon Mosley reported.